I looked at my parents during my brother's funeral, and they didn't even look sad. I was 14 when my 17-year-old brother Jack suffocated to death on a school camping trip. He went too close to the water during a storm, and within minutes, the waves tore his limbs apart piece by piece until there was nothing left. The worst part was, my parents told him not to go. They said it was dangerous, but Jack went anyway. So at Jack's funeral, when my parents stood there expressionless and replying to emails instead of crying their eyes out, I knew something was wrong, but I told myself that maybe they were just in shock until the next day. It was literally a day after the funeral, and the kitchen looked completely different. It took me a second to realize why. Every photo of Jack was gone, every single one. I stared at Mom, who was doing the dishes while whistling to the song Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. I asked, where are the pictures of Jack? She didn't look up and just shrugged. I put them away. I can't keep looking at them. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, waiting to hear my parents crying. Instead, I heard Mom and Dad snoring. Deep, peaceful snoring. Like nothing had happened. Like his son wasn't just buried 12 hours ago. I kept telling myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe they were on medication. Maybe they were in denial. Maybe grief looks different for adults. The next day, I walked downstairs after staying up all night, crying my eyes out. My eyes were so swollen from sobbing that it hurt to look at the lights. Meanwhile, Mom was sitting at the table with a fresh manicure, bright pink nails. She'd gone to the salon. That's when Dad came in from the garage. I guess he didn't know I was there because he announced, even though OP is sad, I'm glad Jack went on the trip. It was the best thing for him. My head snapped up. What? His face went pale as he realized I had heard what he said. He tried to backtrack. I just meant it was good he got to experience nature, you know? Before I could say anything else, him and my mom just stood up and left the room. I sat there for a long time after that. My hands were shaking. I knew something was very, very wrong. That night, I went into Jack's room. I told myself I just wanted to feel close to him, but really, I was looking for answers. I didn't even know what I was looking for. I just needed something. I sat on the edge of his mattress and curled into a ball, imagining what he'd say if he was still alive. That's when I felt it. There was something hidden under the mattress. I pulled it out, and it was Jack's diary. I immediately opened it to a random page, and what I read made everything make sense in the worst way possible. I thought I was going to vomit. Jack wrote, I found messages on Dad's phone. He's been texting one of his students in 6th grade. The things he was saying to her made me sick, especially when I read the message about having a baby together. I showed Mom, and she told me if I tried to report it, she'd kill me. That was the last entry. I looked up from the journal. My hands weren't shaking anymore. They were steady, because suddenly everything made sense. The photos coming down immediately. The nails getting done like nothing was wrong. Dad sleeping peacefully. Jack was going to ruin Dad by telling the truth, and my parents killed him for it. I don't remember walking to the living room. I don't remember what my face looked like. I just remember standing in front of my parents with the journal in my hands and my whole body shaking. What did you do? Mom's face went white. Dad stood up slowly and asked, where did you find that? I responded, what did you do to Jack? Dad's voice was cold, colder than I'd ever heard it. You don't understand. He was going to ruin this family. I couldn't breathe. Mom spoke next. Her voice was steady, calm. We gave him a chance to change. He refused. I screamed, he was your son. He was my brother. Mom's voice was soft, almost gentle. We did what we had to do for the family, for you. You'll understand someday. I'll never understand.